thanks for your time. It's a really pleasure for me.
Oh, for me too, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, yes. And first, congratulations for this new album. This is the first album with Listenable Records, your new
Yes.
label.
Yes, we're very excited, man. Listenable has been amazing with us, really. So we're very excited to work with them.
Yes, it's a great opportunity for you.
It is, we're a band from a very small country. And we like being underground, but working, independently has certain limitations, right? We we have certain limitations working underground with independent labels. So when you have the opportunity to work with listenable and labels of this size, it just opens the doors for us for many other things that we couldn't do it ourselves, perhaps. So it's just great for us.
Yeah, great, great. Um, do you explain this for the listener of Loud TV? Where did you from? Play music,
Yes.
the beginning as well.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So we're from Costa Rica. We're from a very small country in Central America. Um, Costa Rica is a country predominantly, I say, dominated with Latin music. So, metal is very popular here, but it's not as popular as, for example, reggaeton and other Latin genres. So, for us, it's been always very not difficult, but it's very it's different perhaps to live in Europe that metal is huge, right? And you have huge countries with huge populations, so it's not easier, but it's just let's say it's just a better way to market your band in Europe than in Costa Rica, to give you an example. So we
Yes.
started way back, man. I created the band with our lead guitarist when we were fresh out of high school, under a different name though, in 2006. And we didn't know how to play instruments or anything. Um, and the thing is that we were not really into thrash metal at the time. We were playing punk and hardcore.
Oh, yes, great.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly, just like that. We were playing Misfits and Ramones and Black Flag and Cro-Mags and Bad Brains and all that type of music. Because honestly, it's the only thing that we could play.
Yes, yes,
We,
yes, yes. It's more it's less difficult play punk to thrash metal.
yes, exactly. So we were playing it a little bit faster,
Yeah,
and what happened was that we discovered bands like Sepultura. We discovered bands like Demolition Hammer
yeah.
and a Swedish band that we love called Hypnosia, and one of my favorite bands, Violator from Brazil.
Okay.
And it kind of shifted for us, right? I learned what they were doing and the way that we wanted to do things, and we switched everything. So we changed the name from Conqueror to Chemicide back in, I think it was 2008 or 2009, and we started like the whole process of building the band the way that I wanted it. We wanted to bring back that old sound from the
Yes.
80s and 90s, and because this is what this is what I love. I love Creator. I love Sepultura, and I love that sound. It was very raw and very fast, and we started putting our records out independently, our demo and our EPs, and we got caught. Our first album I put on Bandcamp in 2015, and I caught the attention of a Canadian label, actually from Quebec, from Rimouski. So it's funny because the first label that gave us a shot is from the French part of Canada, and now we're the French label now. So it's it's so tight. You kind of tie that
Yes.
together. So
That's a great story.
But yeah,
Great story. Yeah.
yeah. So I think we have a great connection with the French people, man. So yeah. So yeah, man, we started, working with PRC Music. We released 3 records on their label, and they worked really well. We still have a great relationship with Remy. He's the owner of the label. Unfortunately, he had to close down due to COVID in 2020.
Yes.
Everything was, very expensive for him to have the label, and things were moving as if he wanted to. We couldn't tour, we couldn't sell records, so he had to shut down. But that kind of helped us out with the 4th record, which I think was what caught the attention of Listenable, Common Sense,
Yeah.
and it helped us work with different labels around the world. We compared the records in Mexico, with Ragnarok in Germany, with Rip Right Records in Canada, with Marquee Records in Brazil, and also with, I think it was Sunrise Records, and either in China or Japan, I can't remember. But it was just a great opportunity for us to expand.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why we're working with Listenable now. I think that it opened up a lot of possibilities for us, and
Yes.
it's sort of a high level overview of
Yeah. Yeah.
what we had with the band.
Yeah. You are a great band to this great guy, and the previous album, Common Sense, in 3 years ago, I've received many good feedbacks and satisfied to you.
Yeah, so Common Sense was a new monster, right? So from Inequality, which is our 3rd record,
Yeah.
helped pave our name in America, right? In like all the continents. So Canada, the United States, Mexico, and like South America, we were known for Inequality, right? But we couldn't tour that album as much as we wanted to because of COVID. We released the record, we were on tour, we were going to Mexico to play, and the borders got shut down, so we had to stay home. And when I was writing Common Sense, Quechol, who's the owner of Concreto Records in Mexico, he put me in contact with Martin Furia. Martin Furia is the lead guitarist for Destruction, and he's the guitarist for Bark, and he's a great producer. So he'd been working with Nervosa, with Crypta, with Evil Invaders, if I'm not mistaken, as well. And he's from Argentina, so Ketchup put me in contact with him, saying he told me that Martin wanted to work with us, and I didn't know Martin at all, but he told me that he knew us because of Inequality. So when we were working on Common Sense, I just I felt a strong connection with Martin. He understood perfectly what we wanted, what I wanted for the sound, and it just exploded. Really, Common Sense was a record that took us to Europe for the first time. We were able to play in shows that we dreamt of for years, and it just opened the door for us. Like we played Into the Grave in Netherlands.
Yes.
We played Metal Dance in Slovenia, and we played the biggest free metal festival in Latin America, which is Rock al Parque, which is like Rock am Ring or any of these festivals in Europe. And we played in front of 22,000 people.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Yeah.
And it was amazing because
for you.
it was just crazy because we played an hour before Chromax. I'm sorry, in front of an hour before Agnostic Front, and a couple hours before Overkill. Overkill played in front of 90,000 people. So we were backstage just watching this sea of people, man.
Mm.
And it's just a festival that we had dreaming to play. I don't know, for years, man, since we started the band. So Common Sense really opened the door for us and just helped us just cement our name internationally. And that's the reason why, we're going back to Europe again. With Common Sense, we went twice. Last year we went again, and this year we're going back. So
Yeah. Okay. Great. Perfect time. It's 3 years ago for you. It's a big day and big year for you. Yeah, great,
Yeah.
great. Let's talk about this new album. Uh, really trash album. And this production is very clear, is very old school, but massive. It's very great. I love this sound. Violence Prevails stores end of the February, and can't wait for you. I imagine for the listener.
Yeah. So Violence Prevails is an album that I personally love, man. I tried to do it um, um differently, as you know, a bit different than Common Sense, right? So I started writing the album right before going on tour this last year, and I had the idea of how I wanted the record to sound. So we brought two new people to the band. Our bass player, he had to quit the band at the time, at the beginning of last year, because he just couldn't tour, couldn't keep up with the band, and he'd been with me for, I don't know, 16 years, man. We've been friends almost 20 years now, and he's the only bass player that we had in the past. So we brought in a friend of mine that's been friends with me since we were little here, and it's from my neighborhood, and he had a different band, and I asked him if he wanted to join me. He said yes, and we also brought in a new drummer, which is just a beast, right?
Oh
This new
yes,
drummer
oh yes.
is just
Great
amazing.
job for your new drummer on this album. Oh great.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. We this dude, I've known for like a couple of years now, and I told him he wanted to join the band in March. He said yes, and it opened up a new level of. It just had no limitations whatsoever for him. So every time that I wrote a riff, I was like, "Yo, do you want to do this like this, or let's just let's do this fill like this, or this break like this?" He's like, "Yeah, let's do it." There was never a time that he said, "No, I can't play that." It was always, "Yeah, I'll play it. Let's do it."
Let's go.
So
Let's go.
it was just it was easy to write. So when we were on tour, we were playing so often. I had the ideas in my mind of what I wanted the album to sound. So I talked to him. I was like, "Yo, I wanted this album to have like big drums, like back in the early '90s, right? Like Chaos AD, Metallica, and all this like big drums." But I wanted them to sound exactly just like that, man. I wanted the album to sound organic. So I wanted the drums not to have samples. I wanted the drums to be, as we recorded them, to be on the album. And I told Martin that, and Martin said that he understood perfectly what I wanted. So he started to work. We recorded the album in September in about 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks. We recorded the entire album. It was a really fast process because I already committed to Listenable, and
Yes.
I was running behind.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so I was running behind, and I just had knee surgery, so I had to make sure that we were able to complete the record in 2 or 3 weeks' time. So the idea for the mix was big drums, cutting bass, and really sharp guitars, right, and a lot of reverb in the voice, because I wanted to capture that 90s sound, but at the same time I wanted to have also the modern mix that Martin has on his record. So Martin understood it perfectly. He's like, "Yo, I have the idea of what I want the drums to sound like." So I'm like, "Okay." And he explained that he got the inspiration from the Humanizer from Black Sabbath, which is an old record, but very modern at the time. And he's like, "I have the perfect tone for the guitars. I really know how you guys want to sound." So he did 14 mixes of the sound. 14, man. We went back and forth 14 times of how we wanted the album to sound. And he's like, "Yo, I have an idea." We were already done recording. He's like, "Yo, I have an idea. Go record another lead here, and bring another thing here and there, and go and do another scream here, and do another vocal here." So we had to go back a few times just to record things, the ideas that he had. and that's the reason why the album sounds so different, because it's a very clean, I would say, clean sound,
Yeah.
but it just sounds massive when you hear the entire record, and that's exactly what we wanted. And I'm really happy that you felt the same way when you listened to it, because that's exactly what we were looking for. So it's really
emergency, but this is great. Yeah. This album is really great. This is the new chapter for the band, and I hope for this year it's the new album. You permit this bigger, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I mean that's the idea. We want the record to be everywhere, right?
Yeah. It's very.
We want the record.
Yes.
We want to tour everywhere we can, and Listenable has been great at promoting the album.
Yes.
And we wanted to bring to Listenable a new record that could really bring a new sound to the band with a new label. So I think we were able to accomplish that with them. So we're really happy. I mean, I'm extremely happy that